Hi, my name is Kirsten Stendevad. I'm the author of 6 trend-setting books about 21st century paradigms, and I'm here to share with you my deepest insights from my past 15 years as a transformational leader and teacher here in Scandinavia. This insight will be relevant to you if you have a dream, if you have a vision, a longing, a desire, something you'd really like to manifest. And it will be particularly relevant for you if you have a very deep desire. I suggest when you listen to this, you work with your deepest desire, something that you want so much to happen that you almost can't trust, can't believe that it could really happen. Something that is such a deep longing that you almost can't stand working with it because it would be so horrible for you if it wouldn't manifest. Something you are afraid to even mention, something that you really have a hard time believing can come true, but you would really like to make it happen. Because this, I believe, is your soul's calling, and I believe that the most vulnerable spot is the most interesting spot, because this is where we can really get to know about life's deepest mysteries and really get our soul lessons. So I suggest you work with that part. Now think of a dream that you'd really like to manifest for a moment. And in a while you can listen to the visualization and really get into a reflective mood and a meditative mood and really work deeper with how to manifest your deepest longing. So now you have a dream that you would like to manifest, and I'd like to share with you some insights on how to manifest it. Because there's a lot of myth around realizing dreams in our communities. Even in the spiritual communities, even in the so-called New Age environments, there's a lot of different contradictory teachings around how to manifest a dream. And I have been researching this topic the hard way in my life, but also from this experience I've asked many masters and came to my own realizations, and I'd like to share those with you. Because you see, I had a very strong dream of healing my 7-year-old son from cancer, and if you've read the book Shine Your Light, you have also read how I struggled to make this dream come true and how I had to release this dream, and it turned out that he actually passed over instead of surviving. So this was a very transformational event for me in many ways, and it was deeply transformative because I had for 45 years manifested dream after dream after dream after dream. So I thought I knew exactly how to nail this one. I thought I knew exactly how to make my son survive the unsurvivable, and then it didn't happen. This was very vulnerable and terrible for me, not only because of my own grief, but also because I had been teaching people for 10 years how to realize their dreams, and then suddenly here I was, and I couldn't even realize my own deepest dream. And that put me on a quest where I not only interviewed and asked masters from all walks of life, from all kinds of spiritual traditions, all kinds of different walks of life, but I also did my own research. I went into deep meditative processes, deep shamanistic healing processes. I threw myself into near-death experiences just to understand what had happened to my son, because I thought I must know. Especially since I'm a transformational teacher, I cannot tell people something that I don't know is the truth. And what I learned from that is that there are different myths in this area. The first myth is that you can't influence your life, that it's all God's will, and also it's all your predestined, your destiny written in the stars, and you can't really do anything to alter this. And I got in touch with that reality when my son died, because I thought, could I have done something done something more? If you read the story, you knew how much I did, but could I have done something more to save him from dying? And my conclusion was that you can do a lot to influence your life. You can do a lot to take leadership for your life, and you certainly are born with a free will that determines how you are going to meet the obstacles and the challenges that you meet, how you're going to face them, how you're going to respond to them. So you certainly have a lot of say in what happens in your life, and you can certainly have a lot of influence. I'll come back to that myth a little bit later, but then I'll take up another myth. Another myth is from the New Age community, which is about you can influence 100% of your life. You have 100% influence on how your life goes, and you have the power to, via the law of attraction, attract everything you desire in your life, and there's no limits to what you can attract and achieve. So this is a very encouraging philosophy for many of us who have been in this paradigm of, well, can I realize my dream? Well, maybe I can't because I'm not good enough to realize my dream. So when you've been in that paradigm for a while, maybe through your upbringing, you've been encouraged to think, well, the success is not for me, the money is not for me, the happy is not for me, the love is not for me, because don't have that destiny. If you've come from that paradigm, if you've visited that paradigm, it's extremely encouraging to meet the law of attraction paradigm, by which everything is possible and there's no dream you can't achieve. So I was part of that philosophy for a very long time, and really enjoyed working with my inner vibration, by always making sure that I was positive, that I was light in my energy, that I was constructive, that I was always trying to get my vibe as much up as possible. And so I know that paradigm very, very well. And then there I was living that paradigm, and then my own son gets cancer and dies. So now what was I supposed to think of that paradigm? And I struggled for a very long time to find what is the truth here. And what I have concluded is that the truth is somewhere in between those two paradigms. Because while it's true that we can influence a lot with our free will, there are certain things that we just must admit that there's also forces outside of our own free will. We are part of a bigger universe. We are part of a bigger web of events, of people, of souls, of soul contracts, of a higher evolution, a bigger picture for all of us, that we are woven, our destiny and our lives are woven into this magnificent, enormous web. So to think that one person has 100% control over one's life is overestimating one person's power. Now, I'm not saying you're powerless, but I'm just saying that the trouble with thinking that we are in control of our destiny is that as soon as something doesn't go exactly our way, then there's only one to blame, ourselves. So the paradigm of the law of attraction and thinking I can make anything happen, well, it's great in many ways, and it gives us a lot of power, but it also gives us a lot of guilt and shame as soon as things don't go our way. We even see in the New Age community, we even see a lot of New Age bullying, which is pointing fingers at others who don't master the law of attraction and saying to each other, well, that's their own fault, because they were not in a high enough vibration, because they were not thinking positively enough, because they were not mastering their emotions, because they were not eating healthily enough, because they were not exercising enough. So this law of attraction paradigm can actually be used as a weapon towards ourselves and towards others, judging each other for not manifesting our dreams. And I find that highly untruthful, actually, but also very hurtful. And trust me, I've lived through that guilt and shame paradigm, so I know it very, very well. And the trouble with it is it's not the truth. It's not the truth that you are in 100% control of your life. It's good to take 100% responsibility, because then you have done everything you can to manifest your dream. But the result is up to God. The result is up to this bigger bigger picture where we sometimes don't, from the point of view we have when we're standing on earth, we can't see the whole bigger picture. We can see the here and now, we can see ourselves, we can see a little bit into the future, but we can't see the whole picture. And what I learned from my son dying is that there's a very big difference between the logic and the law of attraction here on earth and the logic and the law of attraction in the other dimensions. Something that looks terrible from an earthly perspective is divine beauty and the best outcome seen from a larger perspective, from a more divine perspective. And that is certainly something that I couldn't hear from other people when I experienced my son dying. I hated when people said, well, look at the gift in it, there's probably a gift in it, it was probably what was meant to be. I thought, BS, you haven't experienced this hard grief, otherwise you wouldn't be able to say things like that. If you had experienced my grief, you would be compassionate and you would be with me and share my grief. You would not say, well, there's probably a gift in it, and so as I was supposed to be thankful for what happened. But I did, through my inner process, realize that there is some truth to this, you could say almost oversimplified truth, there's a gift in everything. Well, yes, from a higher perspective, but I think we have to realize this higher perspectives ourselves before we can really embrace that truth. It's too easy to just say it from head to head, but when you experience it in your heart and in your spirit, you can believe so. The bottom line here, for you who really want to manifest a dream, is a couple of things. First of all, I really urge you to go for your dream and to do everything you can to make your dream come true, because that gives a good feeling of empowerment that at least I have done my part. So I really urge you to do everything you can to make your dream come true. Follow all your intuitions, follow all your the signs you see, follow all the urges you have, the inner impulses you have to go fully for your dream. I really urge you to do that, and I don't think we should ever stop doing that. I think that's how evolution evolves. I think our dreams are important for humanity, our dreams are important for the future, not only your own future, but the world's future. So by all means, go fully for your dreams. But do not think that you are in control of your destiny, that you are 100%, that you are the master, the soul master. You are in an interaction with the bigger mastery and mystery. And I find that this dialogue between my will and my longing and my soul's longing and the listening for the bigger picture and the being open for the bigger picture and being open for the results being in not in your hands, that fine dialogue, I think, is the key to going for dreams, because you will often find, and I've often seen that in the thousands of people I've worked with and also in my own life, is that our dreams are much bigger than we can even fathom. If we go fully for our dreams, we can actually realize things that we couldn't even imagine. So when I say make the impossible possible, I'm also talking about the fact that I thought if my son dies, my life is over. I'm never going to be happy again. I'm never going to have a good life again. My other children will never be happy. My marriage and my family will be handicapped from now on. That's what I thought. So I thought it would be impossible to survive the unsurvivable. But here I am, and actually have a wider perspective, a deeper perspective, I live in a much bigger universe than before my son got ill and died. He actually gave me the gift of opening the heavens to me, because now I feel connected on so many more levels than before. And here I am, I have a good life, I have a genuinely happiness in my heart. It doesn't mean that I applaud what happened, but I can just witness that sometimes the impossible that we need to make possible is not what we think. It's something else. It's an expanded version of us. It's an expanded dream. It's a much bigger than we can even imagine. So that's my conclusion for you. Go for your dreams, but be humble. Stay open, because you never know. You never know if your dream could be even bigger and better than you thought. And you never know what is in store. We don't know. I mean, some people say that we choose a lot of things with our free will, but our birth time and our death time is predetermined by our soul. I don't know if that's the truth, but it makes sense to me. So to think that we can control everything, I'm not sure that, I am sure that that's not a good thing, and I am also sure that it's beautiful and wonderful that we don't, with our small minds, control everything, because there's such much bigger picture that is even more beautiful than we can ever imagine. So I hope this encouraged you to go for your dream, and also to not make yourself wrong or feel guilt or shame if it doesn't come true. You are absolutely on track if you do everything you can, and if you stay open and stay kind to yourself and others, because I think that deep down our biggest soul lesson is actually just this one simple word, which you can see here on the wall. It's love. It's about loving ourselves. It's about loving our lives. It's about loving what happens to us even when we hate it. It's about loving our destiny, loving our journey, loving every moment of this precious time on earth. So I hope you will go for it, and I hope you will benefit from the other tools that I share, which is the physical movements and also some reflection exercise and some energy work you can do to take your leadership for doing the best you can for manifesting your dream.